Here's a Craftsman 2.5. These aren't as well known as the 3.7. You can see it's from about the same time. Styled the same as its big brother. So what I'm doing is I have this all cleaned up, putting it back together, putting new fuel lines on, using the Tygon stuff. It's much better than using this old school rubber. This is probably the original stuff. It wasn't much better than like automotive vacuum tubing. There's a few places in the fuel line tube that was actually rubbed through and leaking out. So yeah, I expect this to come together pretty well. I'd be very anxious to see how this runs, being a piston ported engine as opposed to reeds. It just goes right in there. And this is actually a combination of two engines. I had one for parts, but not a complete unit, so I couldn't rebuild it. And eventually came across one on eBay, of all places. Usually I like to find my stuff locally, but bought this eBay parts unit, and I thought the engine was good. I had it running. Rebuilt the carb, and then fired it up again. As I was turning the adjusters and getting it running right, the engine got really tight and it locked up. So I knew something was definitely wrong, because just the way it sounded. Took it apart, and the needle bearings, a lot of these old school things had needle bearings instead of one-piece bearings. A good number of them had worn badly and split in half, and consequently they fell out and made their way into the piston sleeve fit, all back together. It's working fine. It's kind of what I expected as far as how it runs, being piston ported. It doesn't have that characteristic of that pop 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 like the reed valves have, which sounds nicer, but these piston ported, it does seem to make more power for its size, and it runs smoother, and it has a more responsive throttle. So I guess that's the trade-off, and why most stuff anymore is all piston port. Anyways, there's the Roper 2.5 Craftsman, and yeah, so it's Christmas Eve and almost 70 degrees out here, so I'm loving this. I hate when we have freezing weather and it's really freaking cold, so give us a little bit of a break. But Merry Christmas, everyone, and don't be afraid to say that to other people too. Take care.